Did Remco make a mistake on Jebel her feet in 40-degree heat? Huge climbing performance from everybody today. UAE Tour stage 7. You know the finish. About 10Ks, 6.8% hockey stick stage. Remco leading GC by 9 seconds ahead of Plapp, 13 seconds ahead of Bilbao, and a full minute and 14, which he'll be pleased about, ahead of Adam Richard Yates. Strade Bianca is this Saturday. Alaphilippe, Van der Poel, Wout van Aert lining up, and the best place to watch it is GCN Plus. You can get 15% off an annual GCN Plus pass in selected territories through the link down below. Available anytime, anywhere, any screen, year round. A lot of pressure on Adam Yates here at the UAE Tour final stage. Remco with a comfy GC lead. He was Glog's assessment of the conditions before the stage.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, especially with the heat. So it's got a little bit hotter every day, and obviously it's always pretty hot here. But yeah, today you can feel it on you now, and it's only going to get warmer throughout the day.
The breakaway went with Cor Vos. He climbed really well in some race last year. The FDJ kind of ruler lead out man Wellesley was there too. Some trains got set up, Ineos in particular, before the base of her feet. UAE didn't really care. They weren't fighting for position too much into the base. They were chilling in the wheels EF. They were trying to keep Steinhauser and De Bod there on GC. There were some roundabouts into the base of her feet. Hessman, who came third in Lavernier, was the best man out of the breakaway. And you see it's EF, Bora Hansgrohe riding, I think, for Zuhoff and Buchmann. But then Steckelanger goes to the front. Everyone's taking bid-ons, multiple bid-ons, super hot conditions, even though it was an easy stage before, so they can manage the heat. And here is Cherney lighting it up for Quick Step, and Bjerg seems to do this a lot. It was kind of like Rouleur Wars, first edition of 2023, Rouleur Wars, where Cherney's pacing Bjerg. You see him press the lap button. He's like, no, I want to pace on the front. I'm the better climbing Rouleur, as we saw on the Tour de France last year. Whereas maybe you last longer on the climb if you kind of let Cherney burn himself out and then pace. Cavendish dropped, but then, Bjerg starts to really pace. So from the bottom of her feet, the GC group was paced. There was really not much finessing. There really was not any moment where a rider who was spent was allowed to linger on the front, not doing too much. Like Tarling did a good job on Jais, but he wasn't bringing Rubio back, nor was Schmidt in 3Ks to go. Riders are dropping immediately. They go into the shades for some brief respite for the riders. Soler appears out of nowhere, don't know where he was. He starts pulling. So UAE, Bjerg, Soler, McNulty, Stekelangen, they're all going to launch Yates with who knows how many Ks to go. And that's why they did such a good time today. In fact, they broke the record even with a bit of a headwind, I think. And they had tailwind last year when Pogacar won the stage ahead of Adam Yates. And then McNulty just starts to shred. He just put out huge watts. We saw in the Tour de France on stage 17 last year, dropped everyone except Jonas and Pogacar. Steinhauser unfortunately dropped, Camargo helping him, and already Lutsenko's losing the wheel with 6.7 Ks to go. Bilbao's kind of off the back. Kuss knows that Lutsenko's going. Plapp is pulling big pain faces. Remco has slid onto Yates' wheel, and Ajay Citroen, I don't know where they entered the climb, but Bouchard, he finished third on this stage. I don't know what this guy did or whether he's slid up everyone's wheel, but to finish third from this position is insane. And I wonder what he could have done with starting in better position on this climb. Tarling also, huge result from him for a Rouleur TT guy. Incredible result on this climb. Bilbao already, maybe he's just doing his own pace. He's not responding to the accelerations, which come inevitably from Yates. Remco snaps onto the wheel, 6.2 Ks to go. Only Kuss can go. Plapp kind of, maybe he cost himself trying to follow Haninen, reeled him from the break. We still have Hessman up the road, but Yates is going for the stage. And Yates he goes once, hits you, then he keeps pacing heavy on the pedals, and he's trying to assess what you'll do. He's also got there's an interesting sort of bid-on action coming up here with Hessman Cor, who's sort of a satellite rider for Kuss, but he can't really do too much except give Kuss a direct spray right in the face. I don't know if Kuss knew it was coming, but then eventually I didn't mind that. Yates has got a man double bid on coming up, no lids, and he's going to go a left-hand direct over, and Yates is going to give himself one too. So staying cool, it was super hot conditions. Remco starts pacing though, and I want to know your thoughts. I think in theory, it's for GC, absolutely the right thing to do. It's quite conservative with Yates, a minute 14 back, and Plapp and Bilbao. If you drop them once this easily, they're not going to cause you too much trouble unless, I guess, one wins the stage and you lose bonus seconds, and Platt wins the stage. You can sort of lose by 1 second, but so I get it, pacing, keep him behind, ride your pace, but I do wonder, did with the wind conditions, with draft being really important on this climb, did Remco pace too hard? Like, was he too worried about Flap and Bilbao? Maybe, because he drops Koos off the wheel and he's like ripping that gap open. And Yates is a serious guy on defeat. He's won here in 2020, I think, the first defeat stage, and then he was, I think, stronger than Pogacar on 2022 last year. But Pogacar was in his wheel. Pogacar was leading GC then, and Yates does give him a turn after Remco had been pacing for the best part of a K. But Bilbao and Koos kind of come back a bit, and then Remco goes to the front again, pacing visibly full gas, sort of in the rain style. This is how he rode in the Vuelta. Picojano, he rode like this. With Mas on the wheel, and Fanquire kind of rode like this. It's his style. He doesn't like the big attack, stop. He likes to ride like a TT. I get that. But maybe, for the stage, it wasn't the best thing to do. But, he's just wrapping up GC. And if you ask Adam Yates and Remco Evenepoel, would they rather have the stage on her feet or the GC? I think both of them would very much prefer to have GC. So Yates hits him, huge attack. Remco can't respond. But he's going to hold this gap pretty stable. It was immediately 8 seconds, 9, 10 seconds, and her feet levels off a little bit with, I don't know how many Ks to go, actually. I don't know her feet, the topography of this climb in February. I haven't memorized it. I apologize for that. But there's a flat bit which you can see Remco's coming up to now, and Yates is not as aerodynamic or powerful as Remco on the flat. Plus, Remco gets a mad toe in from the camera, a photo motorbike, and cuts it to maybe another 12 seconds. But unfortunately for him, it's going uphill. Yeah, Bilbao and Plapp. I wonder if Bilbao loses the GC podium, kind of worrying about Plapp here or finessing him. Bouchard's dropped Koos. So Bouchard, by the way, has come from middle of nowhere to now he's third on the road on this climb. Remco looks like he's suffering. Yates looks back to make sure, and this was their big target. Winning GC was the big target, but after he lost out in the crosswinds, the best he could do was winning this stage. Moves into third on GC, actually, because Plapp and Bilbao got dropped by 54 seconds. So Plapp just keeps second by a second. Remco winning another World Tour GC stage race, adding to his Palmares, a little bit cooked in the heat at the end, but he won't have to worry about that in the Giro unless something crazy happens. Yates winning the stage 10 seconds ahead of Remco, 42 seconds ahead of Bouchard. Big performance from him. And in terms of GC, it was all about the crosswinds, which really helped Plapp and Bilbao and Evenepoel, but Evenepoel takes it out. Yates could have come second if he didn't post up, but maybe he doesn't care. Here's what Remco had to say after the stage.
I thought Yates was just gonna stay in my wheel and then jump in the last few hundred meters. I would be happy with that, but in the end I still had to go over the limit to keep up with him. I think I came closer towards the end, but then also my legs just ran out of energy because we went super fast over the climb, especially in the first few kilometers. I lost all my teammates, and then Yates attacked, and I was the only one together with Koos in his wheel, and then a few moments later we were alone, and then I just decided to do my own high pace, and then I knew he was going to try something still, but I was really happy I could always see him in front of me, so then I knew the overall victory was quite safe.
But I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to check out the annual GCN Plus offer through the link down below. I'm starting my travel back home to Andorra now, and I'll see you with some videos after that. Ciao.